Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I've had quite a busy weekend. It's why I got my schedule out a little late, so apologies for that. And since tomorrow is the big day, happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I hope you all are able to find someone special to spend Valentine's Day with, even if that's just a friend. As for me, I will be spending Valentine's Day with my eternal Valentine, Mrs. Cawthorne. Honey, Honey Grimoire, welcome to the stream. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well. And, yeah. And, we're making pizzas tomorrow. That's kind of how we're spending Valentine's Day. We got a little baby, so going out can kind of be hard to arrange without a lot of prior planning. Maple Moria, welcome as well. Happy Valentine's to you. I hope everyone's having a good week so far. I, overall, compared to last week, have been in better spirits. Also, it helps that I got my taxes done recently, so... I don't have that hanging over my head, putting pressure on me. Also, as a corporate overlord, I am deathly allergic to taxes, so it's always a hazardous ordeal. Anyway. My wife found something interesting at the store. What was it, 2 weeks ago, I think it was? I don't know if any of you remember this. It's called Pepsi Nitro. It was like yeah, taxes suck. It is a very terrible allergy. It's absolutely horrendous. It breaks out in hives. The micro bubble Pepsi? Yes, I personally like it. I've heard other people say it tastes flat to them just because, it's tinier bubbles. I like it. It tastes very smooth. I don't think they actually make it anymore, actively. But Miss Cawthorne found it at the store. She knows I like it. It was like a sort of a grocery outlet store. Sometimes you can buy sort of stuff that's dented and stuff like you wouldn't normally find in the store. And, yeah, she bought me a bunch of it, so I've kind of made that my stream drink. I got a nice little, fancy chalice to drink it out of. But yeah, I personally like it a lot. The vanilla one's bomb. Though that actually reminds me of another sort of obscure Pepsi drink that I like, but I know it wasn't that popular. Yes, Mrs. Cawthorne is a very smart consumer. The vanilla one is the best. Unfortunately, she was only able to find one can of it. What was that?
A singular container of cans. Singular can.
Yeah, she only was able to find a single can. Not a single container of it, just, one singular can. And yeah, I agree the vanilla one is best. So, like I said, another obscure Pepsi flavor that I am a fan of that I know wasn't too big. I liked the Pepsi Fire that was sold a few years ago. It was like this cinnamon-flavored Pepsi drink. I think it was made right around the time Crystal Pepsi was at a comeback for a little while. I liked it. The only real complaint I have is you cannot breathe in while drinking it. Don't breathe while you swallow, because, obviously you'll have a coughing fit. It's it's the kind of soda where if you inhale while it's in... Ooh, I have never had Pitch Black Dr. Pepper. What flavor was it? I personally... What was it called? There was a flavor I liked a while back that I saw at the store. Yeah, there was a lot of Strange and Fire branded food at the time. However, that's not a complaint I personally had. I absolutely adore spicy food, whether it's cinnamon spice, chili pepper spice, wasabi spice. I love it all. And here's the thing, they are all different spices. Chili pepper and kind of burns your tongue a little bit, whereas if you eat wasabi or horseradish or things like that, that's going to clear out your sinuses. You're going to feel that more in, your upper nose. if that makes sense. Like, you can eat all the wasabi you want. You will not burn your tongue. You'll just have a killer headache later. Just because, like, you'll feel like all that burning in your sinuses. And Pepsi Fire, like, it was just kind of warm. Like, I wouldn't call it spicy per se. I'd say it was just kind of it was cinnamon, and that's what it was. I liked it, but also the way they seasoned it. If this was in your mouth at all and you like breathe through your nose, you would start coughing. And you can kind of have a similar thing if you're drinking something like, say, a ginger beer or something like that. Yes, cinnamon spice in drinks is nice, especially hot beverages. Alright. I'm going to get us into the game, and we're going to continue this conversation, though. Fireball in my Coca-Cola. I love to taste it. Ah, that sounds interesting. I personally don't know how that would taste. I don't drink alcohol, per se. But I don't complain about that. In fact, my older brother, he makes this peach cobbler called that he uses Fireball whiskey, and it is fantastic. It has, like, just the right thing of cinnamon, and I think he adds normal cinnamon in as well. It is. My brother, he's not normally one for baking, but he makes a mean peach cobbler. Nice. Like I said, I don't drink, so I don't know what's strong and what's not. I know, like, beer and wine are typically the weakest ones. Oh, before we enter whatever mission we're doing, I'm going to make sure my character eats. For those of you who may have not eaten already, actually, even for those of you who are, this will make you hungry. Watching this will make you hungry because they make the food look absolutely delicious. Yeah, I wouldn't know. Like I said, I don't personally drink alcohol, like, at all, but I do use it in cooking. Like, I've made French onion soup with wine. Yes. That's why I say this is not... Since eating is such an integral mechanic, this is not a game you play on an empty stomach. That is the only warning I will give you. Do I have any mega potions? It does not look like it. Don't think I will encounter any poison, though, so that's the thing. Great Ravine. So, for those of you who might not have viewed my earlier streams, with this game, plot-wise, we just failed at catching a giant kaiju-sized volcano dragon. And mind you, this volcano dragon is known as an elder dragon. And to quote lore in the game, an elder dragon has never been captured before, so I don't get why they expected that to succeed. It's like they were basically trying to catch Godzilla with ropes. Is that the one that's missing? I don't think so. It's not so much a Pokemon type thing. It's more of a... So, I don't know how familiar any of you are with Monster Hunter lore. To be fair, I'm not too familiar with the larger lore of it. But basically, Elder Dragons are basically a bunch of different dragons that sort of are forces of nature. And the whole plot of this is you come to the new world as a quote-unquote Darth Revan, good to see you again. We're just playing Monster Hunter World.
We didn't even slow it down.
We're following the path of a giant volcano dragon that... Yes, this is what I was talking about. They somehow lost track of a giant volcano monster. Like, it's one thing if it's the middle of the ocean and, you know, they can sink to where you can't see it, but where did they lose track of it? On land! Yeah, it does sound about right. Like, Here's the thing, like, I know a lot of times plot devices like this are to pad out the plot and just to make the game a little bit longer, because, because video game. But at the same time, sometimes it's just so far-fetched that you can't help but think, how? How does work? Oh, by the way, if any of you notice the little scrolling text at the bottom, I like to post little funny things there that take place in the universe of me, Mr. Cawthorne. I do take suggestions for that, by the way. Like, shoot me a DM on Twitter, shoot me a... Like, I think I even have some suggestion boxes in my Discord server. What?
Shoot me.
But, yeah, I know sometimes it's literally just because video game and plot has to happen somewhere, usually. I don't think that's where I'm going next. Like, Zora Magdaros... You have a rematch with Zora Magdaros, I want to say about, like, 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through the plot. Oh, here's the inland coral reef I mentioned in the title. Don't ask me how the coral's still alive. Like, it's inland, there's not a lake. That coral should be dead. I mean, now that I'm looking at it again, it's kind of pale, so maybe it is? I gotta admit, coral does look rather crunchy, and it does look like you could... Yeah, it does. Like, some of the environmental design in this game is fantastic. The next area, I don't believe we'll actually get to it today, is a place called the Rotten... Yeah, like chalk. It's called the Rotten Vale, and it's entirely made of decaying meat, and the boss is a dragon that, despite actually being alive, looks like an undead zombie. Coral itself is a living organism, and the coral that we think of when we think of coral is actually, I think, like their shed exoskeletons, if I recall correctly. So, calling it calcium might not be wrong. Also, for those of you who have never actually, like... Oh yeah, it definitely wouldn't be. But, also, never cut yourself on coral. That can cause some nasty stuff, like... Those polyps, they reproduce quickly, like... Imagine getting a cut of coral, and then, like, weeks later, realizing the coral is growing out of the cut on your foot. Like, I've been to Hawaii a couple of times. They tell you specifically, do not swim out there without foot protection, because coral can do some nasty stuff to open wounds if you step on it. I mean, you're not wrong. The only difference is it doesn't, like, consume you, because I don't think that coral can actually, like, survive if it were, like, inside of you. I'll become Spider-Man, but Coral Man. I would not be surprised if that actually exists already. There are tons of, like, really obscure Marvel and DC heroes, so I would not be surprised if that exists somewhere. Like, a ocean version of Swamp Thing or something. World's most terrifying hero. I want to say no, but that would be terrifying to see. Like, this may be just because I am admittedly afraid of the ocean, but I always found the fishmen in Pirates of the Caribbean, in, like, the latter two movies, I thought they were terrifying. Also, I may not respond to chat for just a couple of minutes while I read the dialogue out loud. I think I found a better female voice for this. Imagine patting him on his back and accidentally get stabbed and almost instantaneously. Oh my gosh. That's just. Ugh. That is a horrifying concept. Alright.
Oh, hello. You're awake. Do you remember your fall? A friend of ours found you napping in the Vale and carried you here. But more to the point. Congratulations, you found the third fleet. I'm their leader, to the extent that still means something. And this is our research base. Our fleet consists entirely of scholars. Which fleet are you with? And how did you get here? And what happened in the Great Ravine? I see. So this Zora Magdaros was the latest Elder Dragon to make the crossing, and it breached the Great Ravine when you tried to capture it. Well, I suppose after all this time, we may finally do what we came here for. And I must say that I'm stimulated.
Don't any of you take that out of context. I see that face you're making, Lovey.
Mrs. Cawthorne to you.
Well then, let's not waste any time. We need to pick up Zora Magdaros' trail. An expedition to the Coral Highlands might be fruitful, wouldn't you agree? For obvious reasons. That is what we call the surrounding area. A nice thorough expedition should reveal the Highlands' secrets. It's a good idea, is it not? I know it's a good idea. I came up with it. Now go quickly.
I see you. I see your people's reactions. I knew you would. The timing on that was impeccable. I use my phone for some of my face tracking, and I just got a notification from, like, another streamer I follow that said, "Oh my." Why is there a random crow next to you? Oh, that is Ood Ulti. If you're willing to spend, I think it's about 500 channel points, you can make him talk. The rules, of course, for chat still apply to the crow. The redeem is called Ood Ulti Speaks. It runs through BikuBot. I'll be honest, when I hit affiliate, that was actually the feature I was looking most forward to implementing. That and sound alerts.
Femboy businessman.
Oh, it's only good to know it's only 300. What was it? I totally lost where I was going. We're going to the Coral Highlands. Alright. Southern camp. Alright, just let me get a sip. My throat's getting a little dry.
Sippy, sippy.
Not really. Like, it's not really an RPG, I would say. It's more like a, it's kind of... I think I would compare it more to Dark Souls as far as how it plays, because it's not really magic so much. It's a fantasy setting, but it's low fantasy, but not quite to Dark Souls levels of grim. If I were to compare it to anything, I'd say it plays the most like a Dark Souls game. Which I've beaten at least the first two. Somehow, in spite of logging over 100 hours in Dark Souls 3, I still have not beaten Dark Souls 3. But it's... I would say it's like Pokemon, but you're not really here to capture them to fight. You're more here to kill them for research. Revan. Thank you for the correction. Like, I have... Yeah, I haven't beaten Elden Ring either. Like, when it first came out, I bought it, but my computer didn't run it well. When I tried to play it, the enemies were invisible, so I wound up getting killed by invisible Vikings. And for some reason, I didn't have legs. Like, I was able to walk just fine, just my legs were not appearing. Okay, if you're gonna follow me like that, you're gonna get the bonk. Yeah, I kind of had... I think with 1 or 2, you don't really need to have high-spec computer to play it, but for 3 and Remastered, you might need it, especially Elden Ring. Like, that... Oh, wow. Oh. I forget what this one's called. I know it's a relative of the Kuliaku... Zitziyaku. I tried running DS1 Remastered, and I thought it said I didn't have enough hardware space. Oh, so it's like your computer didn't have enough, like, memory space for it? Or am I misunderstanding? Oh. Also, one of the advantages of this game is you get a little cat that follows you. Boom! I love monsters in this game. I just didn't have so much fun playing it, even after switching my weapons and everything around. Yeah, like, I will say this, it's a fun game. I find it fun, but I don't think any game's for everyone, so I mean, it's not for everyone, obviously, but I personally find it fun. Part of the problem, I think, is that each weapon is very, very different in how they function. No, it had enough memory space. I don't know what the issue was. I wish I personally knew more about technology. I might actually have been able to help. But, yeah. For example, the hammer I am wielding is... Well... Basically, you are the face tank. Your job is to get up in everything's face and thwack them with the big bonk stick. I also installed a Fallout New Vegas mod where it completely overhauls the power armor, making it much more epic. Oh, really? Like in what way? Kind of like how Fallout 4 kind of makes it feel like you're wearing an Iron Man suit? Yeah. Oh, that sounds cool. I actually wasn't even sure there was power armor. No jetpack. Aww. But yeah, I wasn't even sure there was power armor in New Vegas. But yeah, Maple, I'm kind of there with you. I know there are some games that just aren't my thing. Like, for example, while I'll admit I like Brotherhood of Steel is in Fallout New Vegas, I did not, actually. Come on, I need to hit you in the face! Oh, there it is. Ah, I fainted. Well, that was unfortunate. But, no, I did not realize Brotherhood of Steel was in New Vegas. Yeah, but they're... hold up. Oh. Yeah, but they're cowards in comparison to the Fallout 3 chapter. I wouldn't know just because I haven't played a whole lot of the Fallout series in general. I think I have played maybe 4 and New Vegas the most extensively so far. Alright. I guess I should probably get on task. Let's find the campsite I'm supposed to supposedly find. Isn't Fallout 4 like 30, 50 gigabytes? You know, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've actually played it. But that sounds about right, because, I mean, I know it's probably at least a little bit bigger than Skyrim, right? Actually, I just remembered one of, I think, the few major complaints I've had with this game. It's, so, there's this DLC called Iceborne for Monster Hunter World. Corporate Communications does not make video games, no. Not yet, anyway. Our R&D division has had some, trouble on that regard. Now, where is the camp I'm supposed to supposedly find? But no, Corporate Communications primarily works in telecommunications. I'll be honest, I kind of had an interesting discussion once on another Discord server I'm a part of, for kind of horror-themed VTubers like me, and I was kind of talking about how, you know how VTubers oftentimes make lore videos, right? I thought it might be fun to, like, say, make, especially since I'm horror-themed, you know, like a fun little RPG sort of horror game that sort of explains the lore a little bit. And I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to do. And, I will admit I have actually started working on that, but I also acknowledge... So Corvin makes phones. Not so much phones, so much as, Oh no, the giant chicken's after me. No, it's more like, in the olden days, we were a radio station, and then we switched to TV, and then we switched to being an internet service provider, so we don't necessarily make the phone itself, but we do make some of the parts for it, and we also make internet modems. And, believe it for me, as my legal team makes me say this, we definitely do not hypnotize people with our broadcasting equipment. You say that, but, employee turnover's a little high. People keep vanishing. Yes, wink, wink. I didn't even know this model was capable of winking, so good to know for future reference. Okay, Mr. Scoutflies, you're supposed to be taking me to where this is. You're not doing your job. Interesting clause to include, not nefarious at all. Oh, certainly not. We are entirely benevolent. We are not certainly trying to assimilate all of the human race into not human beings. Totally not our goal since ancient times. So you Orn Corvid. So our founder was a man named Grant Godfrey. He retired and, as sort of a thank you, he was put as part of the board of directors. And I don't technically own Corvid Communications. I am merely the chief executive officer. Technically speaking, we are owned by the shareholders. And we generate wealth for the shareholders. And we brainwash people for the shareholders. But no, actually, we are a publicly traded company. So, no one person technically owns Corvid Communications. Alright, where to go? This area of this map always confuses me. Because it's just like a bunch of going up, going down, going up, going down. And meanwhile, we are being followed by a giant screaming chicken. So how do you deal with the IRS? Because even the Joker from the Batman TV show is afraid of the IRS. Trade secrets and a lot of lobbying. Perfectly legal avenues, I assure you. Okay, are they telling me to go up? Yes, understandable. Have a great day. Like, I have not reached that point in Fallout New Vegas, but I understand what that was a reference to. Okay, where the heck is this camp? I am having a devil of a time finding it. Am I supposed to go... Which way am I supposed to go? Up. There's a... You know, that does not surprise me in the slightest. Because... maybe a corollary to Rule 34, if only slightly less lewd. If there is an idea of it, there is a mod to make it. Am I supposed to go up? Am I supposed to go this way? Green fireflies, you're leading me in circles. Yup. Oh, I'm supposed to go this way. Oh. Okay, well now I just feel stupid. Yes. Yes and no.
I think we could build the camp here. Let's ask the head honchos.
It's...
The research base has a new gas.
That actually is somewhat of a complicated question.
Grab something to eat?
I definitely enjoy food. But as far as needing it to survive, technically no. So am I supposed to return to the research base? Okay, so I can leave now when we can actually do a real quest.
Your stamina cap has dropped. Eat some well-done steak to restore it to max.
Alright, ZTS Yaku Photo 4? So, I know that means light, but I don't know what a foray is. Yes, see, I sit at a desk all day, a lot of the time. It's a skin condition. Oh, right, I should activate the voice.
Anyway, you have a visitor. Well, look who it is, my two favorite hard workers. The Third Fleet Master here tells me you went out on an expedition. The Goa Highlands searching for Zoro Macros. Oh, the voice is changing.
The Third Fleet Master here tells me you went out on an expedition in the Coral Highlands searching for Zora Magdaros clues. She also tells me that there's this rotten veil way down beneath us, which gives me an idea. I want to be able to access the veil, and we'll need the means to get down there, so I propose we resurrect the wrecked base. As in, rigging it with balloons to reconvert it to an airship. The leader's here, and the leader here's all for it.
Oh yes, reap to your heart's content. From the air, we'll be able to survey the rotten veil unimpeded, and hopefully that's where we'll pick up the Zora's trail. The airship engineer said he'll take good care of the airship. Construction, all we need to do is deliver the goods. According to the scholar,
These voice switches are starting to bug me. And what are you talking about? I don't need to Oh dear. He hit that button. Well, that's no fun. According to the scholars, materials from a monster called the Paolumu are just the ticket. If you take care of the Paolumu hunt, that'll free me up to go look for some secondary materials. Deal? Oh, and here, the old man said to give this to you. It's a special tool, made using materials from the local monsters. Oh, that keybind's not working. Okay, fixed that. Thank you so much. But, yes, what are you talking about? My skin is a perfectly healthy shade of gray. It's a specialized tool made using materials from the local monsters. They had a handful of biosamples kicking around in Astera, so they decided to put them to use. The old man says he hopes the new gear helps you out in the field. You'll put it to good use, I'm sure. Well, let's get to it. Good luck. Also, I am going to restart that timer for the True Nature. I'm just going to set it up real fast just because I realized my hotkey wasn't quite working how I'd wanted it to. There we go. Ooh, I can now visit the smithy. Can I get a better hammer? That's the question I need to answer. It removes my suit jacket. That is what it does. What's up? I killed Warmer's diagnosing to watch the field leader team leader 6. But these days I'm a runner really smithy. Already was just the big brain types out here. The place isn't really kitted out for crafting, especially the whole fire part. So they got me running orders back to the smithy in Astera. You need anything, I'll grab it for you. Sounding good and cool and normal. Yeah, what are you talking about? I am perfectly normal. Perfectly normal. Alright, let's see what this person has to say. Oi, what are you? Oh, sorry about that. I thought you were the lab mouse switching kid come out to an over again. Anyway, the finest resource center around. Well, I guess it's the only resource center around here. But all that matters. Let's get down to business, like. Get out of the loop. Is that the deal? Not quite, I don't think. Oh, sorry. I'll turn that off then.
Everybody gangsta until the demon voice comes out.
Yes, it's true. There was one time I literally yelled at my party mates while playing Baldur's Gate 3 because I did not realize that I could turn off when they were followed me, and I had accidentally done that.
Hey there, would you mind taking this? It's a charm. It's the subject of all my research. I believe it may improve one of your equipment skills or even give you a new one. Go on, give it a try. Since being stranded in the Coral Highlands, I've been studying the first Wyvernians' melding techniques. It's been a long, arduous process, but at long last I've managed to produce this one charm. I've been waiting for ages for a hunter to come along and try it out in the field. Give it lots of love for me, okay?
His name is Grogu. We've been over. Yeah, so here's something actually I don't get. So these are called Wyvernians, and the thing is, this lady here, this elf lady, is also a this lady is also a Wyvernian. So theoretically, when this lady gets old enough, they will turn into this. They will become Yoda. So was So was the original founder also not human? No, he was. He's not anymore. So she goes from hot to becoming an elderly baby Yoda. Yeah, apparently. Like, actually, that reminds me. The lady who is sitting in the fancy chair, she is actually the sister of the stupid elf guy who lost track of the Zora Magdaros. They are siblings. So, both British elf guy in the main area and this lady are siblings, and they'll both turn into Yoda when they become old. It's the circle of life. When you're young, you idolize Yoda. When you're old and drunk, you talk like Yoda. And then when you're old, you look like Yoda. Oh, wait. All returns to Yoda. Yes, it's the circle of life.
Did you hear, partner? We're making an airship, a flying research base. Ain't that crazy? I wish we could take to the skies right now, but first we gotta collect those materials. Let's see, looks like we're hunting ourselves a Palamute, right?
Alright. So, I think I recall the Palamute. I actually thought the Palamute was kind of adorable. Hunt a Palamute. I'm sorry, I just retched thinking about that monstrous face. Seriously, you'll be doing it a favor, and us too. Hunt it and the airship engineer will have what he needs. But yes, all return to Yoda. Alright, they got a canteen around here. Because I need to eat before my hunt. Even though I do go to the gym, but protein is very important. Can I talk to you? You're not the canteen. So where is the canteen? Eat some coral? I feel like that will do a lot more harm to me than good. Oh, yeah, here's the cat I was talking about. When you play this game, you get one of these. They're called a palico. And they're adorable. Just like your real-life cat. Your insides will become an aquarium when... Again, as a person who honestly does find the ocean terrifying, I would not consider that a win. Ah! Oh! That got me. Oh, that got me way more than it should have. But that's why I keep eating aquarium. Yeah. I mean, you're getting your minerals, I guess. Okay, where is the canteen? I need food.
Coral crunchy yum yum delicious coral chomp chomp yummy yummy delicious yeehaw.
I mean, I guess you're getting your minerals. So I guess there's something to be said for that? Is there a fast travel in here? I guess not, because it's a small space. Lanian expert. Canteen? Nope. Shy scholar. Have you people not been eating all this time? Corvid Communications needs to write a warning not to consume... You know? That's probably a fair point. Maybe I should mention that. Are you guys here? There's no canteen. Okay, last-ditch effort. If not, we're flying to Astera.
How frustrating. What I wouldn't give for a chance to ascend to the depths of the Rotten Vale. The truth is just within our reach.
I'm not sure about that. Are you the canteen guy? No. Okay, I am leaving the quest, we're flying to Astera, and then we're hunting the Palamu. Because apparently this place, in all of it, does not have a place where people eat. Workshop. There we go. It can become... Can it become mushy? I'm not sure. Like, because here's the thing. I would only think the outer layer is edible, if anything. Alright, prepare your stomachs. The tasty scene's coming. Also, the song that plays during this is catchy. I am so gosh dang hungry. Darth Revan, please go find some food. Trust me, like, I've said this before, this is not a game you can play if you're hungry. And if you aren't hungry, playing this game will make that change. It is currently 12 minutes to Oh. Late night or early morning?
Oh yeah.
3 a.m. I can relate. I get up at like 4 a.m. most mornings in my time. You know, I get that. Although, of course, I am admittedly more of an early riser. I get up at like 4 in the morning. Partially because that is when baby Cawthorne gets hungry, so I gotta prep a bottle for him. And on weekends, sometimes I stay up very late at night. I do have a baby. He is 8 months old today. He's adorable. I love him. Okay, nice. I know where the big camera lizard is, but he's not who I'm hunting, so knowing where he is doesn't really help me. No, actually, I turned 29 this year and actually work a full-time job in addition to this. I actually have a business degree, believe it or not. Yeah, the problem is I got kind of a young voice. Yeah, that's something you kind of just gotta acknowledge when you're watching VTubers. It's like, you don't see their face. You do not know what they look like, how old they are. And I'll be honest, for me that's actually kind of part of the reason I do it, because I've always wanted to get into content creation. I just am not comfortable showing my face. Like, for example, I watch a couple of YouTubers, actually. They're gonna... Oh... You know, he says that face is terrifying, but I'll be honest, I think the thing's kind of cute. And now I gotta kill it! Always aim for the head when you're wielding a hammer. Concussions are the monster's downfall. Understandable. I have a best friend that I've been best friends since 2019, and it took me 5 years to make myself comfortable enough to show him my face. Yeah, you know what? I get that. Actually, my model was drawn by a friend of mine and rigged by a friend of mine. I think it's only in, like, the last couple of years she's ever actually seen my face. I actually met her through a mutual friend of ours who went to the same college as her. Perhaps I should have gotten a better hammer, but I've already committed to starting the quest, so we're gonna kill this thing with this hammer. Oxhorn? I have never heard of it. I'll have to look that up. Honestly, I don't tend to watch TV a whole lot. Like, Mrs. Cawthorne, actually, she understands I don't do well with, media I can't interact directly with in some form. Like, I tend to watch YouTube more and stuff like that, but even then, I still have to be doing something else. Ah! I'll have to look into him. Okay. Healing potion. But, yeah, the quest description says the Palamoo's face is hideous, but I'll be honest. Mouth closed, it looks adorable and kind of reminds me of, you know, a bat. Because it looks like a bat. Mouth open, it kind of reminds me of a pug. And pugs are cute, even if they have chronic breathing problems. Although it's also personally why I will never personally get a pug, French bulldog, or what have you. But yeah, I'll check out Cawthorne. Like, I don't know why, but that name sounds very familiar. Am I allowed to give you a nickname? Well, let's see. A lot of streamers, when I'm in their chat, refer to me as Corvid, so, you know, you could refer to me as that. My actual name, however, is Calvin Cawthorne. And by real name, I mean my real fake name. But I mean, as long as it's not offensive, yeah, I'm fine with that, Corby. That works. That works perfectly fine. Oh. You know, I think this one's just limited game programming, but you would think because of inertia that I would still keep going with that. Oh. Oh, barely missed that dodge. So, why does this thing have a platypus tail? Oh. See, this is the main disadvantage of playing as Hammer in this game, is that... Oh. Ooh. Yeah, actually it is. You can switch them out for better weapons. The thing is, you have to... Well, actually, I think you can buy the better hammers, but the main thing is that, well, you need to gather the components, and you get those either by finding gathering points in the map, or... what am I thinking of? Finding points in the map, or killing monsters and taking their parts to upgrade your existing weaponry. I'll admit I have kind of been falling back on finding better equipment on stream, just because, well, I'm a little bit afraid of playing my profile while not on stream, but at the same time, I also don't want to bog down my stream with a bunch of side quests, if that makes sense. Because, I mean, how much fun would it be to watch a quest that basically is there a sword play? Yes, there is. It's not really class per se, so much as just what weapon you choose to build. There's a ton of different weapons in this game. I just prefer Hammer because, well, Hammer is a very simple weapon to master. Basically, so long as you aim primarily for their face, you're going to do alright because... While you cannot block with a hammer, you can slam them in the face and give them a concussion that stuns them. So there's always a trade-off. But yeah, there's a sword and shield class, there's a gun lance class, insect glaive, small bowgun, large bowgun. Yes, I only give them a minor case of major brain damage. Oh no, the screaming ice chicken's back. Get out of here, ice chicken, you're not welcome! You know what? I'm just gonna let them fight this out. But part of the reason I like hammers is partially because the sound design for the hammer is very satisfying. Like, incredibly so. Oh, and for those of you who are new to this Monster Hunter, this is my least favorite and probably one of the most nonsensical parts of this game. No matter what your weapon is, whether it is a gun, whether it is a hammer, whether it is a sword and shield, which would actually make sense for this mechanic, you have to stop and sharpen it. So, let me repeat that. A hammer, a blunt weapon. A blunt weapon with the express purpose of smashing things' faces in, you still need to sharpen it. Oh my gosh, get away. Let me climb the ladder! But yes, one of the most nonsensical things of this series is, regardless of what your weapon is, you need to sharpen it. So after I got my power armor set, I went to Freeze side and began walking slowly, thinking I'm in a edit? What is an edit? You're gonna need to define that one for me. But, yes, and for anyone who wants to try explaining that to me, please explain where, on this very obviously blunt hammer, I would be sharpening it. An edit is basically making a video edit of a pre-existing video to make it much more awesome than it actually is. Ah, okay. Now that makes sense. Okay. Thank you, because I wasn't sure if you meant it like that way or if it was some new slang that somehow, despite being not 30 yet, I would not be I would not understand. Okay, I'll be honest, getting hit in the face with this thing, I would think, how is it that he's still in the air? Don't worry, Lil. You'll get to that point eventually. Yeah, possibly. Huh. He's running away. And he is limping, which means he is near death. So, that means I got him right where I want him. Climbable Why do they call it a tendril? Why not just call it a vine? Like, no, they could have just said vine, but no, they say climbable tendril. Alright, where did he go? Uh-oh. Also, the flying monsters like to run away a lot, so if you do pick up this game, be prepared for that. It means it grows unnaturally. Maybe they call it tendrils because they're alive? Huh? Maybe. The only way that would make sense, though, is if they're somehow not a plant. Because, like, when I hear tendril, I think, like, you know, an octopus tentacle or, like, a squid tentacle. Like, I think something attached to an animal, not necessarily a plant. Don't bother me, chicken. Do we just stumble upon the dragon's den? Maybe, but he's not our target. Our target currently is the balloon bat. Alright, where is he? He's around here somewhere. Ah. I hear in games before Monster Hunter World, you had to, like... Well, you still do to this game in a degree, but, like, if it ran away, you had to re-track it down. Yeehaw! Stab, stab, stab. Stab, 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 stab. Stab, 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 stab. But, yeah, actually, very few of these monsters are dragons, per se. Most of them are wyverns. I can say with utmost certainty, I may or may not have a hand in doing that. There are many sordid tales about Mr. Grant Godfrey. In fact, I've been CEO for many years, so some people believe I may have personally had a hand in it. But those rumors are, of course, unsubstantiated. Where's... I hate when they run away. But no, the story is basically he returned from a trip to the Middle East after reading some books, and then when he came back, for some reason he wanted to found a radio station. He brought some peculiar associates with them. They had pale skin and yellow eyes. Although, of course, Mr. Godfrey himself had also taken on a peculiar paleness as well. Though, of course, the Spanish flu was around at the time, so a lot of people chalked it up to that. It's a little bat face, cute. Yeah. See, funny thing is the description for the mission said, "Oh, kill its ugly face," but I'm just like, okay, when its mouth is closed, it's got back face. When mouth is open, it's got pug face. It's adorable. I almost feel bad for killing it, but I need to kill it to progress plot, so it has to die. CHRO? Darth Revan, I think you're going to need to explain that one to me. No plot armor for him. No. Unfortunately not. I don't think... Well, actually, no. There is one character who I swear has plot armor because the amount of times they put themselves in a situation that should have killed them is astounding, and that character is the Handler. Oh no, we do. We have a Chief Human Resources Officer. That used to be my job. Oh my god. Nope. Oh, for the love of... Finally, I can hit you because you're on the ground. Alright. Are there going to be meme streams anytime soon? You mean like reviewing TikTok content? I mean, if there's enough demand for it, probably. It's just not my current thing. But yeah, I haven't personally done a meme stream, but I'm not actually entirely sure how it's done. Like, for example, like, do people do that with like TikTok on like the desktop site, or do they like hook their phone's visuals up? So like it's part and parcel just I would say, well, it depends on what you consider evil, because here's the thing, like, on a person-to-person basis, I would say the Legion is probably more evil, per se, because here's the thing, like... Ah. But, as far as, say... We're not necessarily trying to kill or enslave people, we're trying to bring them into a hive mind so they can become one with us. And, see, is that so wrong? I mean, not really. Where's the bat's corpse? I need to dissect him. Yeah, see, we don't treat people like... Well, we treat all people like resources. But here's the thing, like, we're trying to make all of humanity like us, so is that really so wrong? We're not trying to enslave them, we're trying to make them part of a collective consciousness. I mean, think about it. Everyone would have access to the same amount of knowledge. Everyone would be connected. Everyone would be one of us. Yes, a team building exercise, exactly. I suppose that's one way of putting it, Darth Revan. Except there's not so much... that's not true. Shamitha would be the queen bee or ant.
At last. The balloons have embarked and the airship is ready. All thanks to you and the airship engineer. We completed preparations on our side as well. We can depart whenever you're ready. However, I do have one thing worth mentioning. We never bothered with a test flight. That's not going to be a problem for you, is it? When you're ready, just say the word and we'll make our descent into the Rotten Bear.
Shouldn't you prepare before you head down to the Rotten Vale?
Alright. Right. I meant to tell you, I was wandering the Coral Highlands looking for materials for the airship. So I'm guessing the founder is like the king-queen if we treat your species as an... Not so, actually. In fact, the king/queen would actually be the interdimensional force, which all, like me, are technically fragments of. I got to thinking, it would be a lot easier to move around the Coral Islands if I put together a rope lift. So I put in a request at the resource center for the parts I need. I think I'd make things a lot more convenient, so it'd be great if you could help out too. I'm counting on you. But no, the interdimensional being known as Shamitha, the Mother of Crows, is the king/queen.
Now is the time.
Ready?
To descend to the Rotten Vale. First, we need to look for a place to touch down.
I don't know what football has to do with any of this, so why are we looking for a place to touch down?
Once we reach our destination, you made important night camp preparations. Then it's back to the usual order of business, finding Zora Magdarosa's trail. Now I want you to pay close attention. While you are down there, think long and hard. What is the Rotten Vale? How does it connect to the Coral Highlands? Well then, off we go.
Alright, now that the reading's done. So let's say humanity finds out what Corvid actually is and what their main objective is. If they want to attack you, would you be able to survive? Oh, most definitely. We've had to survive purges before. Granted, we hadn't reached quite the scale we have, but we have before. After all, we were in hiding when Godfrey found us. Waiting. Watching. Observing as humanity grew.
Hey, over there. What do you think? Very well.
Why does she have a Tibetan bowl? No, it's perfectly fine. It's more just I'll be honest, up until, like, today, I think, I haven't had a very active chat, so it's kind of like I'm having to, divide my attention between looking at chat, watching the game, and, actually playing the game at moments. But it's perfectly fine. I mean, that's something all streamers have to deal with. Why are we shooting at giant Gila monsters? But I appreciate the compliment. I think I actually said this on Blue Sky
When in doubt.
with a VTuber 1 like equals 1 question answer. The entire universe in which my lore takes place was actually part of a previous project I started working on and made videos for, but I actually kind of stopped working on just because I didn't feel like I had quite the skills needed to bring it to life. But no, I appreciate it because I feel like my writing is probably one of my strongest talents creatively. Oh, here's the place made of rotten meat I was telling y'all about.
Oh yeah.
The third... Seems that a small amount of fluvium... What is a fluvium? I'll need to look that one up. But you could explain it lore-wise that the failed project was... Oh no, there's a whole other story there. It was actually a failed investigation, which actually is...
Meat time, meat party, a land of rotten meat, my favorite, yummy, yummy, yahoo, meat.
I suppose for vultures it'd be quite literally a feast for the eyes. But actually, the old project was actually a failed investigation. The person who was in charge of that is, well, not here anymore. Hydrate. Thank you. That's better. I'll admit I tend to drink a lot more sodas than is probably good for me, but at the same time, like, unless I'm actively exerting myself, like, say I'm at the gym or something, I prefer my water be flavored, if that makes sense. Though, to be fair, that might be a carryover just from the fact that, growing up, the tap water in the place where I lived at the time was awful. So, like, I'd add a flavor packet to at least make it, taste good.
Be careful not to touch it.
I like my water Sub-Zero cold. Yeah, I understand that. I am able to drink water that isn't cold, but of course I prefer it cold. Oh, I am taking damage. I am taking damage. But my Miss Cawthorne actually, like, she knows this. There are loads of soda shops in my area, and I always order mine with no ice. I mean, if I were, like, freezing cold, I actually might drink hot water, just straight up hot water if I were desperate enough. If it doesn't taste like it came from Glacier, I'm not judging it. Yeah, I'm going to set my controller down just because I am going to talk with my hands, and I cannot do that while holding a controller. You won't see it though because this model doesn't have any hand movements. But I am fine drinking water that isn't cold. But I agree. I would not drink hot water unless I was like absolutely desperate and it was freezing. You're gonna get... Oh! You could get far worse than that if you drink water from a glacier. But... yeah, like, I am fine drinking my water at room temperature, and when I get soda from the shop, I ask for no ice, and I don't put ice on it if I'm filling it from a fountain either. And see... my reasoning is this, like, if it were water, I would definitely put ice in it, because, you know, it's not going to dilute the taste, but, you know, if you're drinking a soda, juice, what have you, and as you drink it down and the ice melts, your drink starts to get watered down, I despise that. So for me, it's like, and also, as ice melts, it kind of lowers how much volume overall it takes. Frozen ancient parasites, capable of utterly eating your brain and controlling your nervous system type of worse. I mean, that's what the scientists say happens if the glacier melts. Like, it's going to unleash bacteria that we've never, ever had even relatives to exposed to. And that's fair. We cannot assume. But, yeah, like, that's... who's to say I'm not already one? That's also fair. It's kind of like on the internet, no one knows you are... It's kind of like with the internet, no one knows that you're secretly a eldritch crow monster. Just like how secretly, no one could know you're actually a sentient bacterium. Parasite party! Whoopee! Yes, Darth Revan, you're surrounded. You very well might be. Oh, here's the giant. I legitimately... JK. Alright. So am I supposed to kill this thing, or was I just supposed to see it? Yeah. This area is, unironically, one of the hardest in the game, and it's because, especially in the lower regions, you take damage just from existing there. And, like, there's nothing much you can do to stop it, either. Like, it's just, you're in the gross rot fog, so you start taking damage from the gross rot fog. You know, I love when games give you vague objectives like investigate the Rotten Vale. But yeah, like... yes. Shapeshifting, for one. Hypnotizing abilities are others. Sorcery is a third. There are a plethora. This isn't even my final form. Can you morph into an alpha male Deathclaw? In theory, yes. Although, strictly speaking, when the sight of your true visage has the... If the sight of your true visage has the ability to drive a baseline human insane, well, that in and of itself is a defense mechanism. The shape-shifting ability is more to blend in among the populace. After all, if people are doing business, I presume they'd want to do it with people, not giant crow-like beings that... Fun fact, I got absolutely one hit by an alpha male Deathclaw in fully repelled power... Oh. Well. That definitely sounds like a, final boss level threat. That doesn't sound like a fun encounter at all. It sounds like in order to master that, you'd need to be very, very good at dodging. Okay. You know, I love that it says investigate, but it doesn't tell me what exactly I'm supposed to be investigating. Nah, the Deathclaw Mother is much more... So, a thing can one-shot you in fully upgraded, and fully repaired power armor. And there's something even worse? Wow. That's some pretty severe stuff. So was I supposed to go down here? If you kill one of her Deathclaw babies, she becomes like 10 times... You know what? That makes sense. I believe bears operate under the same, principle. You hurt one of their babies... Oh. That's fast. That is very fast. Alright. Game, you have told me to investigate. You have not told me what it is I am investigating. You told me to find the... It's so hard, too, because bears are so cute. It is true, like... Bears, when their teeth are not bared, bears are adorable. Like... Bears are just like giant dogs. They're like giant dogs. They're like giant dogs with giant murder mittens. Honestly, the cutest hostile creature in Fallout New Vegas are the Deathclaw babies. Most friend-shaped ears, and I know, right? They're smaller than the player. Interesting. So it's kind of like bear clubs. They're smaller than you, but they are relatives to something bigger that can very easily murder you. Alright. Game, what is it you're wanting me to investigate? You say cite a great Eros. You did not say kill the great Eros. So I can only presume that is not why you want me here. Oh. Did I find the cutscene that means I can go back? Because time's starting to run a little bit short. Yes, and apparently one of the enemies in FNV can easily cut... Oh! So... The little babies can kill a fully matured Deathclaw, which you previously said could basically one-shot you. Not gonna say what, because it's in a DLC. Ah, good to know. And now I'm supposed to kill. I am not equipped for this. I I cast Tactical Retreat! Who's this person? You look like a Fallout character.
Have we met? Sorry, I forgot. You were cold when I found you.
I was hoping you'd say I cast
Tactical nuke!
I'm from the First Fleet.
Unfortunately, that's not an option. Actually, if you have like a heavy bow gun, you might actually be able to do that. I don't know, I don't play with bolt guns in this game.
Glad you're still in one piece. Fifth Fleet, am I right? What are you doing out here?
Actually,
They're not bolt guns, bow guns. Although, I mean, they're basically big gun, little gun.
Fine. I've spent years delving into this valley's secrets, and I'm starting to understand a thing or two. Now it's your turn. Learn all that you can about this place.
Actually, I might give everyone a little bit of a review of all the weapons available in this game before we call it for the day. Or, sorry, call it for the night. Alright. We're now at the headquarters. Now I just need to find the item box so that I can kind of give you a rundown of all the various weapons you can use in Monster Hunter, of which there are several. However, I personally prefer... I might eventually... I mean, if you definitely want to put a game in for me for consideration, I do believe there is a game suggestion in the Discord. In fact, a friend of mine recommended I play a game called, I think it's called One Shot. It has like a cat person. Alright, so, these are all the various hammers I currently have. And let's go over all the others. So, hammer... Oh, yes, I suppose that is worth it. However, if you... I definitely might. But, like I said, I think the only rule I really have, given that horror is kind of my main shtick, I am not going to have issues with excessively gory games on this channel. However, I will not be playing anything that's explicit for sexual things just because that's not really my theme. So, to go over Monster Hunter weapons real fast. Hammers. They deal heavy damage, you cannot block with them, but to compensate for that, they have a defensive stat of their own. And they have a special perk where basically if you keep hitting monsters in the face, they are going to eventually get stunned. Buster Sword. Basically, if you imagine yourself someone like Guts from Berserk or Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, this is the weapon for you. Metal Bagpipe. For the bard in your life. And those who like weapons that play in a very unusual way. I actually, my artist, when she plays this game with me and a few other friends, she usually plays the Hunter Horn, which is what this is. Proto-Commission Axe. How is that an axe that looks like a sword? I believe it's called like the Switch Axe or something. And it kind of works like a Bloodborne weapon in that it's got two modes. Proto-Iron Axe. And then there's the Katana. And then there's the Spear. Oh, no, that's an Insect Glaive. That one, you get a familiar, plus It is also the weapon that most allows you to be airborne in this game. This is the gun lance. It's very slow moving, but basically it's a lance and a shield with a rocket on it. Iron gun lance. It's kind of like the other lance, except instead of a rocket, you get a pew-pew. Iron assault. Heavy bolt gun. So, if you like rocket launchers, you will like the heavy bowgun. Light bowgun. For the person who thinks themselves a cowboy in your life. The hunter's knife. Standard sword and shield. It may be outdated, but damn if it's not effective. The matched slicers. For when you just feel stabby. And iron bows for the elves in your life. Alright. We're going to quit the game, and we're going to head to the office to close out for the evening. Alright, let's get that music going again. So, I hope everyone enjoyed the stream for the evening. Good game, not gonna lie. The Warhammer game, or what we've been playing tonight? Because, like I said, I've heard good things about, what's it called, bolt gun? Oh, thank you, that means a lot coming from you. Yeah, Monster Hunter is a really fun game. I'll admit it's not for everyone, and especially depending on what weapon you're using, the learning curve is very steep. Maple Moria, I believe, was talking about that earlier. It can be kind of a tough game to get the hang of. Like, the only reason I really got the hang of it was just because I had already become very familiar with, Souls controls, so in some ways that helped me to adjust, but at the same time, that doesn't always work for everyone, and I acknowledge that. And also, it's just kind of like, no game's gonna be for absolutely everyone. Like, for example, I myself, I am not the biggest fan of FPS games or RTS games, and even, yeah, like I said, just different games for different folks. Like, I enjoy Dark Souls. I do not acknowledge being at all good at Dark Souls because I know I'm not. But I enjoy the games, I enjoy the setting. I've heard using health potions in Dark Souls games is a carnal sin and makes you massive. Not at all. Like, here's the thing, the only people who don't use the Estus flasks in Dark Souls are people who are somehow able to never get hit. And that is very hard to do unless you're very good at parrying and very good at dodging. Which takes a lot of practice. But, yeah. Maple Moria, I'm right there with you. I adore the Soulsborne series, and in fact, the fact that Bloodborne is not on the PC is one of the biggest things that upsets me daily. Or just not be able to get angry. No, you will get angry. Only hot girls use the potion system. Well, I mean, they do have the power of the sun. In fact, I think, if I recall correctly, one of the fan nicknames for the Estus Flask is Sunny D. Which, that's another thing my wife saw in a grocery outlet store recently and bought. I drank that, and suddenly I was transported back to elementary school for a bit. And then suddenly I was back to being almost 29. The sun is the hottest girl. Yes, that is very true. I've heard that each ending for Elden Ring corresponds to the beginning of other Souls. Really? I'll need to look into that. I still haven't beaten Elden Ring once. Like, by the time I got a computer that could really handle it well, which ironically is actually the computer I stream on now, my friends weren't really playing it all that much anymore, so I kind of missed a lot of my chance. Because here's the thing, like... I mean, it's a fan thing. I mean, don't they have, like, a theory that the painted world from one of the endings of Dark Souls 3 is that the one little girl is painting is actually the setting that winds up being Bloodborne? I don't know, they have a lot of fan theories to tie all of the FromSoft Soulsborne games together. So, I mean, could be true, could be not. Part of the thing is, while there's established events in the Soulsborne games, they are also intentionally vague. Alright, let's find someone to raid for today, shall we? I'm just going to look at my list of people here I follow. And let's see, it looks like Talk's online. Little Nicto's online. Nicto. Oh yeah, let's raid Nicto. Alright, let's see. Raid Little Nicto. No, he's on. I can see it. Thank you. Actually, I should probably make guiding the raid a point redeem so I can write that down later. So, I'm going to set us up to raid Little Nicto. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. And just a couple of quick announcements. On Friday, we are returning to Baldur's Gate 3, and hopefully I will finally have my vengeance against the bugbear and his posse that has been the bane of my existence. And then we'll finally be able to progress past the Goblin Fortress. And after that, Tuesday, we're playing Fallout New Vegas. Let me take a look at the calendar real fast, because I know that my spring rotation is coming to an end soon. Yeah, thank you for showing up, everyone. Honey Grimoire, Maple Moria, Darth Revan, I am glad you enjoyed the stream. So yeah, let me just take a quick look at my calendar so I can kind of look at where we are from here. Okay, so we've got like about 4 more streams in the month of February, and then I switch to the spring rotation. So this Friday it's going to be Baldur's Gate 3, and then next Tuesday it's going to be Fallout New Vegas, and then on the 23rd we're playing Monster Hunter for the last time for the spring rotation. And probably a bit after that we're going to be switching to March. Yeah, I probably will want to. I originally had it set the way it was just because chat wasn't too active, and I kind of wanted to remind people about the socials. Yeah, I agree. You're right. So I hope everyone has a good evening. Hopefully I will be able to space those out a little more so that they're less annoying. Anyway, let's raid Little Nicto, and I hope everyone has a good night, and hopefully I'll see you all Friday.